Son, you getting that Rocky training. It's that old school.
What you call it, Rocky training?
The Rocky training, boy.
Yeah, that's what it take.
What's up? Can you tell the difference in the altitude? Like
it's you know, just like being here, no. Once we get going and we start moving, it's really gonna take the sparring for me to really feel it. Just warming up, I don't really feel it. And hitting the mitts with my dad, I feel it a little bit, but it won't be the same as like a sparring session. And I think just that level of energy that's required to compete is what'll, you know, make everything else move the way that it needs to move. You get a real sense of the altitude and where you're at.
yeah. You think that separates you from a lot of other fighters out there? I mean, I don't know too many other fighters that are actually coming in higher altitudes and doing things like this.
I think the conditioning that I have definitely separates me from a lot of other fighters. I think another thing that separates me is I have an understanding that, you know, the pace that I want to fight and the things that I want to do in the ring, I understand what's required to be able to do that. You know, I don't think a lot of fighters, they always understand, you know, what's ahead of them in the fight, you know, and they don't prepare for it. You know, not like us.
Kenny, can you tell, like, as a fight's progressing, can you tell where his conditioning, his endurance is at? Like, can you see warning signs if he's burning too much? Yeah, like as the fight's going on,
you don't.
like that?
No, you know that here. You know that before you get to the fight. No, never in the fight. You know that before you get to it.
So by the time the fight actually comes, he's already.
I mean, if there's anything that I don't see, then I'm gonna work on that during the camp to, you know, get rid of that. So no, we don't leave no situations like that. Trainers, whether they want to keep it real or not, they know if they got any shape when they go into a fight. You know, just depends on the fighter and what he's willing to do. Some guys aren't willing to go that extra mile to be in shape like that. Some guys aren't willing to go that extra mile to, you know, eat right all the year round or, you know, 3-4 months before a fight. Some guys want to try to get in shape in 6 weeks. Some guys want to try to cut the weight in 4 weeks. Not a good situation. So those things can contribute to bad conditioning as well.
You know, as a fight is coming up, as you guys are training for a fight, do you know, just by looking at the opponent, do you know like the type of pace you want to set in the fight, or do you guys just have like a certain pace you want to set in every fight?
Well, we always want to set our pace. You know, you always want to set your pace. It depends on your fighter and who you have. That you know, you have these pundits, these people that sit back on a computer, they, you know, this or that, that. You have no clue. You have absolutely no clue what it takes to get in here and deal with 3 minutes of this. You don't have to get hit. Just the conditioning that it takes to be out there throwing the punches for 3 minutes.
Right.
You know, so each individual is different. You know, and like when you have a young fighter and you bring in a young fighter up, you know, he may be able to go 3 or 4 rounds because that's what he's been doing in his amateur career. But then when you ask him to start going 6, and his body starts rebelling against it, or you ask him to start going 7, and his body starts to rebel against it, you've got to keep him training to get through that and bust through that wall. Same thing when you get to 10, or when you get to 11. When you get to, you know, the 12 rounds, you got to have that going in a training camp before you get to the fight. So for us, you know, up here working out at 9,000 feet above the altitude, we have to deal with a lot. We don't have to deal with that on fight night. That's not a problem for us on fight night.
Yo, you've got the high altitude chamber in the gym.
Yeah.
Is it a good simulation? Like, is there a vast difference between?
No, it's a great simulation.
Okay.
It's a great simulation because when he comes up here, he doesn't have the problems other people have. You don't see him puffing and puffing or acting like, you know, he's got a knife in his chest, and that that's an adjustment for most guys.
Yeah,
we might see that today with Hank. But Hank hasn't been up here in over a year, since maybe longer, since we brought him up.